interaction, and also there is one more interaction, that is disulfide bond. Okay. So this disulfide bond is very less in number, but it will make a covalent link, covalent bond with another cysteine residue. Okay. So cysteine, once it is reduced, it becomes like a cysteine. So cysteine disulfide bridge will form. So it will bring like two domains or like two different polypeptide chains close together, so that it will make like a structural integrity or like a globular shape. So all those things that can happen only by disulfide bridge. Okay. So people even testify this disulfide bridge by making artificial disulfide bridge. What is mean by artificial disulfide bridge? So you can mutate like any of the residue into cysteine, and you can test whether they make the with the adjacent cysteine residue. Okay, so people have like done like several studies in like this, and they have confirmed the like energetic favorable um, energy which is gained by cysteine residues. Okay, so here you can see this protein which is having like a disulfide bridge. Okay, so it can happen within like any of the residue. So here you can see like this is like a 21 residue which is making a disulfide bond with 142. Okay, so if you oxidize this, right? So what will happen? So it will become cysteine. So these two domain will be relieved. So you cannot have these two domain held together. All right. Similarly, here you can see. So ninth residue and 164, right? So here like 16.3, third residue and 97. So basically there are like three disulfide bridge here, which is making a very compact structure for this protein. And also you can note down there is one more like cysteine, okay, which is not involved. Okay, so all the cysteine residue is not mandatory to have um, like a disulfide bridge. Okay, there may be free cysteine residues as well, right? So in globular protein, all right. So the folding of the globular protein, the folding of tertiary structure, will result like all the hydrophilic residue to the surface, so that the globular protein will be like easily to soluble, okay, water soluble or solvent soluble, all right. And similarly, the hydrophobic residues will be interior. Okay. So the best example for the globular protein is like myoglobin. So it's a single polypeptide chain. Okay. So here in myoglobin there is a heme group. It's a non-peptide group. Okay. It is not a peptide. It is not a part of peptide also. Okay. It's a separate moiety which is bound into the active site of hemoglobin. Okay. And also it serves as a oxygen carrier. Okay, so myoglobin, it will carry the oxygen to the muscle cells, right? So then we have like a quaternary structure. Okay, so I told you these four types of interaction, which is very important in tertiary structure. The same kind of like interaction is also important in quaternary structure, but the disulfide bridge, most of the time it won't be found in the formation of quaternary structure. Okay. So quaternary structure, we can have like best example like hemoglobin. Alright, so quaternary structure is the arrangement of like all the tertiary structure together. Okay, so hemoglobin is a globular protein which is having like four polypeptide chains, and all these four polypeptide chains comes together and make a globular protein. Okay, so as I told you, the quaternary structure is functional, or it can have, yeah, biologically active only when they are in a oligomeric form. So myoglobin and hemoglobin structurally same, and the function also same. There is lot of sequence difference between like hemoglobin and myoglobin. Okay, but hemoglobin will function only when you have like all the four polypeptide chains together. Okay, so these polypeptide chains are designated into like alpha and beta chains. Okay, alpha 1 and alpha 2, and beta 1 and beta 2 chains. Okay. So here in each polypeptide, you have again like a heme group. So there are basically four heme groups. So one hemoglobin molecule can carry four oxygen molecules. So here this hemoglobin carry the oxygen to the blood cells. All right. Whereas myoglobin, it carry the oxygen to the muscle cells. All right. So you should know the difference. All right. But basically the function is same. Again, here the heme group, non-polypeptide group is there in active site, which is binding with the oxygen. So you can see here the iron molecule, which will bind with the oxygen. All right. So this is like a quaternary structure of like a hemoglobin. So you can see here alpha 1 and alpha 2 chain, beta 1 and beta 2. Right. So you have like a four polypeptide chains arranged each other. Right. So as I told you, like some biological molecules may be active in a monomeric form, and some protein will be active in oligomeric form. The simplest form of the oligomeric form is like a dimer. Okay. So some protein may require dimer, trimer, tetramer, depends upon the protein. Okay. So some protein will be like homopolymer, or some protein will be heteropolymer. Okay. So in case of like homopolymer, most of the time they will be the two monomers will be lying as a like a symmetrically related phase. Okay, so if you have like one molecule, the other molecule can be generated by operating symmetry. All right, so there may be like two-fold symmetry or three-fold symmetry or four-fold, depends upon the protein. Okay, so there are like various examples having like quaternary structural arrangement of like homopolymer. Okay, and there is some protein which is like having like a complex symmetry as well, and there is some protein which doesn't have like any symmetry. All right, so we will see some of the examples in these cases. So here you can see like glutathione S transferase. So it's a very simple oligomeric form which is having like a two-fold symmetry. Only like a dimer is required here. So two monomer makes oligomer, and it will become like a functional. It's called like a homodimer. And this is Rhodopseudomonas acidophylla. Okay, it's a light harvesting molecule. You can see it is having like a nine-fold symmetry. All right. So it depends. Like the number of symmetry, the number of fold symmetry is varying between like a protein to protein. Okay. So here like prealbumin, which is having like 2, all the three axes. Okay. X axis, Y axis, and you have like a Z axis. Okay. In all three axes, you have like a symmetry. Okay. So when you have like a in a like symmetry in all the axes X, Y, Z, so the number of molecules present in this will be four molecules. Okay. So in order to prealbumin to be functional, you require like a four monomer. Okay. So these monomers, okay, if you have like just one monomer, by applying 2 symmetry, you can generate the other symmetrical partners. Okay, so here it's like a complex symmetry, which is like a capsid protein, like a viral protein. Almost all the viral capsid, you will have like a symmetrically related like this. Okay, so here like a simplest form, like highlighted in a color. So you can see here like a domain, so like B domain, C domain. It's not like a domain, it's like a single polypeptide. Like A is one polypeptide, B is symmetrically related with the same polypeptide, and C is also like another symmetrical. Then you can see this triangle will make, okay, a larger triangle this. All right. So almost like nine, you can see here like a three different chains A, B, C. Okay. So almost like a nine chains will be here in the largest triangle. Then this triangle can be replicated, like reproduced, like anywhere throughout the capsule. Okay. So this is like a icosahedral geometry. Okay, so it will almost like all the viral capsid will be having like this geometry. Okay, and here it's like a complex protein which doesn't have like any kind of symmetry, and this is like again like a heteropolymer, hetero oligomer. So you can see the subunits labeled in like different numbers. Okay, S1, S2, S3, and so on. Okay, so these polypeptides are not same, and they are not sequentially same, structurally not same. Okay, but all these polypeptide chains comes together and it is functional. Otherwise, the protein does not function. The ribosome. Okay. So quaternary structures, the futures is like is refers to the organization of like subunits in in a protein with multiple subunits. Okay, so maybe identical or different. Okay, so they have like a definite like proper arrangement. Okay, they are held together by like some kind of forces. Okay, so they associate into like different types of oligomers. Okay, so the energy is varying from protein to protein, which represents the how far they are tightly associated. All right. So structural and functional advantages of like quaternary structure is like a stability. So it will reduce the surface to volume ratio of like the oligomers, and sometime when like two different polypeptides coming together, the catalytic, it will form the catalytic site, all right, or it will bring the catalytic site together. Okay, and in some cases, by means of like bringing the monomers together, you can make like a cooperatively. Okay, so it's called like allosteric effect. So we will see this in later classes. All right. So here you can see like a chicken triose phosphate isomerase. Okay, so two different domains, which is making like active site together, and this is like HIV1 aspartic protease. Okay, they are like a homodimer. All right, so far, like we saw the quaternary structure and their example, and we are now going to see the fibrous protein and globular protein. So fibrous protein is basically does not involve in catalytic function, all right? So fibrous protein will be otherwise you can call it like a structural protein. Okay. So whereas in globular protein, they will involve in biological function. They may be like they will have like active site. Okay. So so in fibrous protein, you will have like only one type of like secondary structure. Either you will have like alpha helix or beta strand. Whereas globular protein, you will have like mixed kind of like secondary structures. So almost all the proteins are like a globular protein, whereas fibrous proteins are like very limited, like hair, nose. So very limited proteins are there for like fibrous protein. Okay. So here you can see like alpha keratin, which is completely made of like alpha helix. Okay. So if you take the hair, right, which is like alpha keratin, you will have like a bundle of alpha helices. Okay. So like a single alpha helix, when you have like two alpha helices coming together, it can make intertwining within like each other, so that it can make like a coil structure. Okay, So two alpha helices combine together and make like a coiled coil, and like two coiled coil make like protofilament, and then it makes like protofibril, and then it makes like intermediate filament, and so on. Okay, so you can see the geometry, the length of the protofilament, and so on. Okay, so this is one example for like fibrous protein. There is another protein, fibrous proteins, collagen, okay, which was like the structure of the collagen was solved by G.N. Ramachandran. Okay, so here like it's like a triple helix. You have like a three alpha helices intertwined each other and makes a like collagen structure. Okay, so here in the collagen you will have like a repeating tripeptide sequence. Glycine X indicates like any amino acid and then proline. Okay, or you can sometimes it will have like glycine, any amino acid, and 4 hydroxy proline. Okay, so it depends. Okay, so once like GNR solved the structure, the Watson and Crick, these people did not agree the structure of collagen. They complained like it is not possible with the proline to have like a coiled coil structure, something like that. They argue. Okay, so then GNR and his co-workers together worked together, okay, and what they did was like they made like models, peptide model manually, okay. So keeping in mind the van der Waals radii of like each atom, okay, they manually tried like how far each residue can come closer. Okay, so like particular residue will have like some van der Waals radii. The other residue also will have like some van der Waals radii. You can push together, you can rotate these, you can make a connection, dipeptide bond between these two residues, and you can rotate. Only for a certain extent you can rotate because the side chain will not allow to come closer, right? So only up to the van der Waals radii you can rotate. Okay. So by making like several models like this, they come together, they come to a conclusion that is what we are calling as like a Ramachandran plot. It was like very nice discovery, and they proved that collagen structure is possible, and whatever they solved, the structure is correct only. Okay, and the after doing this analysis, they came to a like fruitful result that is like a Ramachandran plot, and without uh, validation by Ramachandran plot, right? No proteins will be approved by even today. All right. So that is a like very nice work of like a G.N. Ramachandran. So, so this is again like a collagen fibril and this geometry. Okay. So now, like, so assume. So what is the use of like having like a compact fold? Okay. So assume like you have like a serum albumin, human serum albumin. The molecular weight is around like 64 kilodalton. Okay, which is having like a 585 residues. Okay. So if I have these 585 residue in a only in a beta chain conformation, so the length of the protein I require is around like 2005 angstrom. Such a long conformation I need for the human serum albumin, right? So like you said, the volume it's going to occupy is like very large, right? So, but our body system will not, our cell is not this much dimension, right? So the cell will not have like this much dimension, all right? So you cannot accommodate such a long fiber into our cell. Similarly, if I arrange these 585 residue into a alpha helix, then also I require like a large dimension. This is not possible, all right? But if you allow the protein to have like a native fold, the dimension is like very compact and very less, which can be like accommodated into the protein, and it can have like a easy transportation, right? So it can be like biologically active, whereas these things will not like support like anything, right? So structural diversity reflects the function of the globular protein. Okay, so most often the globular protein structure is decided by like X-ray crystallography and sometimes like NMR and sometimes like electron microscopy as well. So here you can see like diverse protein which is carrying like a diverse function. Okay, almost they have like a whatever the diversity of the protein is like a very beautiful thing that we need to analyze. Okay, same number of residue, different structure, different function. Okay, different number of residue, okay, different function, different structure. Sometimes it will be like a contrast also. Okay, there is no relation between sequence and number of residue, but still they will function same. They will have like a same biological function. So there is like so many things that are there. I guess I discussed all these things in last your sequence analysis paper. Okay, so here you can see like cytochrome C. Cytochrome C, again, it is like oxygen carrier which is having like a heme group. It will bind that you will have like iron atom at the center. It will bind to oxygen. It's like oxygen carrier and lysozyme. So hydrolase. Okay, it will hydrolyze like anything. Okay, then ribonuclease. It's like a enzyme. Right. So different function. Okay. So maybe if you want to have like a nice diving like a dolphin, so mutate yourself into myoglobin and maybe you can try a dive, right? Okay, so then, so for any questions, students? Students, you are following me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So whatever discussed is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, so motives domain that you are going to see now. So motif is like a combination of like several secondary structures. All right. So coming these secondary structures coming together, and it will form a motif. So motif may be formed only by alpha helices, only by beta sheets, or mixed secondary structures as well. Okay, it is otherwise called like a super secondary structure. Okay, so these secondary structures come together and make a compact whole, and sometimes the motifs may be functionally active or they do not involve like any function. All right, and then we have like another secondary structure called like a loop. Okay, so the loop, the length of the loop will vary from protein to protein. Okay, same protein will have like a different length of the protein. Okay, almost all the insertion or deletion will happen most of the time in the loop region only. So loop region does not involve like any hydrogen bonding like alpha helix and beta strands. So alpha helix and beta strands, you have like a regular pattern of hydrogen bonding, but loop doesn't have like any hydrogen bonding pattern. Some of the residue in the loop region may be involved in hydrogen bonding with adjacent residues or solvent molecules or with like metal atoms. All right. So it's very difficult to capture the image of the loop region because loops are like highly flexible. Okay, so it will be in a like a dynamic motion. So even in a like X-ray structure, it's very difficult to find the proper arrangement of the loop region. Okay, so if you go to the PDB site and download the PDB site, you might notice the loop region will be missing. Okay, the coordinates will not be there for the loop region. That means that loop region is like high in dynamic motion. So that was not captured in X-ray structure. Okay, so there is like a hairpin loop and reverse turns are there. Okay, so hairpin loop, you have like a short length. Okay, and it will reverse the direction of the strand. Okay, you direction of the polypeptide. Okay, most of the time you will have like a beta strand. Okay, and there is another this is like a type 1 and type 2 turn. Okay, so this type 2 turn is called like a beta turn, where you will have like first and fourth residue will be having like a hydrogen bonding. Okay, so the type 1 also will have like first and fourth residue hydrogen bonding. Okay, but the arrangement you can see, okay, it's like a different. Okay, so mostly this reverse turn will help to reverse the direction of the polypeptide. Okay. All right. So I told you like several simple combination of like secondary structures, okay, will form the motifs. Okay. So some motifs can be associated with like a specific biological function. All right. So here you can see this is HLH. Okay, helix loop helix HLH. Okay, helix loop helix motif. So you will have like a helix, two helices connected by a like loop region. Okay, and there is another motif. Instead of uh, uh, loop here, you can have a turn, right? So just now we saw like a turn, the reverse turn. Okay, so you can have like a turn, and then it's called like a HTH, helix turn helix. So this is hairpin beta motif. So beta strands, right? Beta sheet, which makes like a hairpin kind of structure. Okay. So here, like these beta strands, mostly it will be anti-parallel beta strand. Okay. So they are like anti-parallel. All right. So anti-parallel beta strands. So connected by an loop. Okay. So this anti-parallel beta strand arrangement, okay, is you can find in the crystallographic structure like n number of ways. Okay, so the possible arrangement is like 24 different types of anti-parallel beta strands arrangement, which is highlighted here. But so far in the crystal structure, only we have found like 8 types of arrangement only. Okay. So this is like a Greek key motif. It's a famous one. It is almost like found in like most of the proteins. Okay. So this is like a beta alpha beta motif. Okay, so you have like a beta strand and then alpha helix and then another beta strand. Okay. So here this alpha helix. All right. So most of the time you can see the beta strand will be in the same plane. Okay. So you can see here the beta strand are in same plane. So the alpha helix will be above the plane. Okay. So the alpha helix may be above the plane or below the plane also. So it is found in almost like a anyway above the plane or below the planes. Okay. So here you can see this is the below the plane. Okay. So this is like a beta alpha beta motif. Okay. And we have like then like a domains. Okay, so domain is like a polypeptide chain or like a part of like a polypeptide chain. So that can fold independently in a stable tertiary structure, okay, with its own hydrophobic core. So domains can be formed from like several simple motifs and additional secondary structure elements. So protein have like anything from one to several domains. Okay. Again, it depends upon the biology of the protein. Okay, so all these super secondary structure, right? All these motifs come together and it can make a domain. Okay, so here also you can see like two Greek motif, which makes a domain. Okay, so this is like a horseshoe structure where you can see beta, alpha, beta motif, right? So you have like beta, alpha, beta motif repeatedly, and it makes a domain. Okay, so domains are most often, but not always, like a continuous piece of like primary structure. Okay, so in the sequence, all right. So it is not necessary, okay, to be together each domain. Okay, so you can see here. So these three domains in found together in one protein, whereas in another protein they are in different location. So in another protein again they are in different location. But when these protein, okay, fold together, so this region will come together and it will make a second domain. All right. And again, this protein, when it is folding together, this will come together and this will come together and it will make a domain. All right. So it depends upon the structure and biology of the protein. So here you can see here like a lag repressor. Okay. So HTH told you helix turn helix domain which binds to DNA, and this is like a core domain containing like two subdomains which in turn contain like several beta alpha beta motif, and then finally you have like a C terminal helix. Okay. And then this is like immunoglobulin, right? So where you have like a IgG contains like 12 immunoglobulin like domains, right? So that's all. So we have discussed like elaborately about secondary structure and tertiary structure and the motif and domains and oligomeric arrangements. Okay. So if you are asked to write about domains or like loop region, okay, or different types of motifs, so you should be able to uh, explain it. All right. So you can learn drawing the motifs also. HLH, HTH, Greek key motif. So these simple motifs you can try to draw. All right. Maybe in exam you will be asked to draw this motif, and you should be able to do that. All right. So I will stop here. If you have like any question, you can ask now. No questions? Okay, so
No, sir.
I stop. Okay, I stop here. So I will continue in 10 minutes. Okay, so I will stop here. I will share you the link in short. All right. Okay, see.